You just got your asses whipped by a bunch of goddamn nerds. Nerds!
Welcome back, everybody. Today, not reviewing any shows, but since Doomsday is almost upon us, and not, figuratively speaking, we're here to talk about who we would like to, what roles we'd like to see cast. Not necessarily in Doomsday coming up, which of course was pushed back, and that's always good news to hear when a project that you've been waiting to see come out, video game, whatever it is, gets pushed back. That's always great news to hear. But and I felt like 2025 was the year of things getting delayed, and we got a lot of that. So we're talking today about casting roles in Marvel that we would like to see cast, who we would like to see put into those roles. So, Huba, again, we're talking about Marvel here. Now, with them acquiring the rights to Fox, this is their chance, and we spoke about the multiverse being like the ultimate eraser, and you can get a do-over with the multiverse, and I think I have a feeling that's the way they're going with Doomsday, bringing a lot of those actors back from the Fox X-Men series, the X-Men movies from Fox. So who would you like to see? We're gonna get into this. We're gonna get into this right now. So of course, the more popular character that he's supposedly supposed to be doing this till he's 90, but don't think that's gonna happen. Marvel, of course, he's legendary. He's been playing this role since 2000. So we're in 25 years. He's been playing Wolverine for 25 years. If I'm not mistaken, X-Men did come out in 2000, and that's when he was cast in the role. And he was actually cast in the role. Fun fact, he wasn't the first choice. The guy that was cast in the role initially, I believe his name is Dougray Scott. He was the villain in Mission Impossible 2. Either it was scheduling conflicts or he got injured while filming Mission Impossible and he couldn't do it. So he suggested Hugh Jackman, and here we are 25 years later, and he'll be doing this until he's 90. So that's our first character, and I'm going to put that to you. Who do you think, who would you like to see in the role?
So let's think about this, right? So if we're going to be recasting everyone all over again, we're playing at least the next 10 years worth of these characters. I went into a deep thought about this and go, who can be Wolverine for the next 10 years? Even though Hugh Jackman will be there till 90, I can see him as Old Man Logan all over again. But my pick for Wolverine on a recast for the MCU would be Taron Egerton. Now, Taron Egerton has already played a superhero in the sense of Robin Hood. He was also Elton John in The Rocket Man. Again, he was great in The Kingsman, one of his earlier roles. There are images of him already as Logan. Cigar in mouth, scars out. But listen, let's talk about how he can really play this role, right? So one of the things that Tom can do, Tom can play an English accent, maybe a Canadian accent, right? And most of these guys can always do those things. So I really think he can do it. He is built in the sense of he can look like Wolverine. I think, his acting skills to play Elton John were phenomenal in my opinion. And while he can probably sing too, I don't see Wolverine doing that at all. Tom Egerton has to be the number one pick for me for Wolverine.
So, and let's add this caveat here. And a lot of these people, if you could find a list of actors who have turned down roles in Marvel, is because they didn't want to commit to these multi-film roles. Scarlett Johansson wasn't the original
Black Widow.
The original person for the actress for Black Widow. It was I believe it was Emily Blunt and she didn't want to sign on to do all those movies. Joaquin Phoenix, who actually ended up playing the Joker, was actually the first choice for Doctor Strange. He didn't want to sign on to do multiple movies. That's why Ryan Gosling hasn't signed on, because he hasn't wanted to. He hasn't wanted to commit to those lengthy contracts, that commitment to do multiple movies. That Chris Evans was hesitant to be Captain America because of that same reason. But it did work out for him, so God bless him. So we're going to go to another X-Men here. And this one is Nightcrawler, which is the first time we've seen him. It was in X2, and one of the best introductions to a character in my opinion, because the way they introduced him in this movie, they started off the movie with him. He was infiltrating the Oval Office of all places. But it was an amazing start to a movie. X2 is one of the better sequels that you'll probably see. So, who would you want to see in that role? Again, we're talking about Nightcrawler from X-Men.
All right, this one's an easy one for me, because if you just put yellow eyes on him, you don't need any makeup at all. His face structure looks exactly like Nightcrawler. Timothée Chalamet. Let's talk about it. He was Wonka. He did phenomenal in that. He did the Bob Dylan movie. And of course, how good was he in Dune? Amazing. Again, it's not about just getting characters that look like it. I also need to see some acting in this. One of the things about the big names in the MCU overall is the fact that they actually have one of the best characters and actors. I mean, come on. Tony Stark. I mean, look at Captain America. Even phenomenal. How phenomenal was your guy that you're wearing right there, Winter Soldier? Come on. Timothée Chalamet has to be in it. Again, he already has a way with things with Wonka, the way he did Wonka, and he did a phenomenal job with Dune, of course. So it has to be Timothée Chalamet.
Now, just and not to rain on any parades here, but he, like you said, he's an A-lister. He definitely has the range to do it, without a doubt. And I'm with you we shouldn't just talk about somebody because they can look like the person, because every time you hear somebody talk about Kratos, for those who don't know, that's from the God of War video games. It drives me crazy that they always say, oh yeah, it should be Triple H. Triple H is in his mid-50s, and the only acting that I've known him to do has been in the ring, which, again, wrestlers aren't really heralded for their acting skills. And he was in Blade Trinity, which should tell you everything right there. I would never watch that movie again. It was horrendous. But that drives me crazy. Oh, yeah, let's pick a wrestler but Timothée Chalamet definitely has the acting chops for it. He's an A-lister. But I read an article. His mentor is his mentor is Leonardo DiCaprio. You already know where I'm going with this here. So we've never seen Leonardo DiCaprio in a superhero movie. That's one of the pieces of advice he's given to him. No superhero movies. I doubt we would see him do that. And I think if we did, it would probably be a bigger role than Nightcrawler, who is definitely one of the more popular X-Men, but I don't think he's at the forefront of an X-Men. Even though he has the perfect age, I think they're trying to go younger when they cast X-Men again. Who knows? I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right, but from what I've read, that's one of the things. Leonardo DiCaprio has never done a sequel, from what I read as well. And apparently he's like the freaking man in Hollywood. Apparently Christian Bale has said everything that comes out goes to him first. If somebody else gets it, it's because he turned it down. That's amazing to me. I mean, but he is the dude. He really is. He's Jesus. He started on Growing Pains.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Let's think about that, like right now. Like, Growing Pains is when we first saw Leonardo DiCaprio.
It's been a minute.
Another fun fact, they wanted to change his name to Lenny Williams because his name was too ethnic. And he told them, and it worked out pretty well for him, so.
Not bad at all.
Props to Leonardo DiCaprio. So we'll move on from Chalamet and Nightcrawler, which is, again, not saying that it's bad. because he does look like him. He could definitely fit in that. The first time we did see him was Alan Cumming in X2, the scene that I spoke about, and that scene is just great. For me, is one of the best I've seen. To introduce a character and to open up a movie, it was
fire, straight fire,
absolutely.
More fire.
There was a younger version of played in one of the later X-Men movies. I believe it was Apocalypse. There was a younger version of him played by a different actor. So now we're going to go another X-Men here. Again, I think, and we've had this discussion, I believe that's going to be the next casting we're going to hear, is because that's something they already took care of Fantastic Four. The most logical choice next is for them to take care of X-Men, because look how popular X-Men 97, the animated series, was last year. It's kind of something that we've all been waiting for, and they were probably waiting to get their hands back on X-Men so they could put their own spin on it. So the next one we have is Pietro Maximoff, which was Quicksilver. Now, we did see him played in Age of Ultron. He is Wanda's twin brother. So we did see him played already in the MCU, but he was killed off. We did see him kind of make a return in WandaVision.
That's right.
Played by Evan Peters, who played him in the Fox X-Men movies. And honestly, he did an amazing job, because I remember seeing when they first showed what he was going to look like on, I think it was Entertainment Weekly, and I was like, "What the hell is that? He looks horrible." And when I see the movie, he turns out to be the best part of the movie. So again, that's when I decided, you know what? Let these people do their jobs. I'll wait to see the movie to judge, or whatever type of feeling I have towards it. That's when I'll wait to see what happens when I actually see it on screen, as opposed to judging just based off a picture in a magazine. And Aaron Taylor Johnson played him in Age of Ultron. So we've had two actors actually play him, and like I said, he made a comeback. Evan Peters made a comeback in WandaVision. Again, that's her brother, and she was really going nuts there in WandaVision. So Puba, we're talking about another X-Men. This is the third X-Men right now. This is not an X-Men. This is not directed at solely X-Men, but of course, like I just said before, I think that's what they're looking to do next. And there's another one on the list that I think they're looking to do. They may have done it already, kind of be a secret. But go ahead, Puba. Pietro Maximoff, Quicksilver.
So shout out to both of the Pietros Maximoff that came out. They did a really good job, and they're both well-known actors as well. But yes, again, I have to keep this young. I have to keep the trend here for these X-Men, because again, if we know what's going to happen, the MCU has to rewrite mutants, because they're just about to bring them out, and we have to decide that the old mutants won't be there, and these recasts will happen. So my pick for Quicksilver, and my Netflix fans and my Scream fans are going to be happy with this one, Dylan Minnette, hands down. Looks like him in Scream. He already had that light color hair in the Scream movie. He did a phenomenal job in 13 Reasons Why. He was also in Don't Breathe. But, his biggest acting, of course, is in 13 Reasons Why. But, again, paint his head silver. Give him an older brother that they kind of look alike. And I hope we get to that other guy later on. But if you look at them, they look like brothers. So, yes, absolutely, hands down, Mr. Minnette, Dylan, let's be Quicksilver. Call MCU. Let's get this done.
I do remember him from Scream, and you said he was in Don't Breathe.
Yeah,
I did see that. I did see that.
That is a movie.
Yeah. I do remember him. So yeah, let's see what happens. It's gotta be coming out sooner than later, as far as them announcing any casting, because unless they're waiting till after Doomsday. And I think that's what I did here is that they are waiting for after Doomsday. But we'll see. We'll see how many. Let's see how many all of these Puba gets right. Puba is actually the one who's driving the train here on his casting. He's
Choo-choo!
He's the director here, and I'm providing input.
Listen, shout out to Lucas, the third man of the podcast. Let's go, Lucas.
and look, I wish I could say I put him there, but no, he did that on his own. Does whatever he wants. No X-Men now. We kind of pivoted off of X-Men right now. Now it depends, because I know there's a couple of different people who have kind of assumed this role. It's Nova.
Ooh, I like this. I like where you're going with this.
Richard Rider. Am I correct on that?
Yep, absolutely correct. That is his government name. We're throwing out government names now.
Well, yeah, you have to bring out the secret identity. Well, it's not really a secret identity. It's his alias, because, I guess. But the next one we are talking about is Nova.
Well, if we're going to go Nova, we're going to go outer space. We got to get someone who's played outer space. Nova's no rookie to the game. He's probably just as powerful as Captain Marvel as well. Let's give it to the Sith Lord himself. Hayden Christensen is our next Nova. Please, MCU. He was phenomenal in that movie Jumper. Like, he did great as a superhero in a sense. Let's keep that ball rolling, and it has to be. And got to mention Star Wars. Come on. Anakin Skywalker becomes Nova. Marvel, make it happen. Please make it happen. I would be the happiest Sith Lord in the world.
So your bias is showing right now. Your Star Wars bias is showing. So again, I'm going to rain on your parade, Puba. In the sense where, again, I'm not saying I'm right. Being that they're going to start casting these and they want them for multi-picture deals, he is already in his mid-40s. Believe it or not, he's in his mid-40s. We'll see if you're right. I know that's what you want because you're a Star Wars guy and he's from Star Wars.
No, he looks like Nova. First of all, let's admit that if you look at Nova's pictures and you look at Hayden Christensen, even now, they just did Ahsoka and he got his youth look again. He looked super young in the Ahsoka series. Again, with technology, of course, they can age him. He doesn't like it. He did not like it.
I told you, he don't like it. He sees your bias too. He gave you his back the entire episode because he's like, yo, he's full of it. I see his bias. Like, look, he's going to bring up Star Wars. We're almost 20 minutes into it. And look, Star Wars. He's talking about Star Wars. He didn't like it. He didn't like it. My only pushback on that would be that, one, he is on the older side from what I think they would probably go to. Because, again, we just discussed that they're probably going to go on the younger side. And now you're saying he looks like Nova, but he's putting on a helmet. Right,
so it's okay. So let's get Nova and let's put a lightsaber in his hand. Why not?
We've completely jumped the shark now, so we're gonna move on.
Let's go on to the next one. Don't rain on my parade. Let's go.
Yeah, and again, your bias was showing. Fair enough. That's fine. This is your. This is
my fancast, right? We're asking my fancast. So yep. I'm casting Christian Haydenson. I'm signing the contract. Like I said, might do like an Easter egg that he passes like in space, and there's like pieces of the Death Star in the sky. Maybe.
Well, there is, and it's something I wanted to bring up when we were discussing Wolverine. And the joke is he's going to be doing it to his 90, and it's a funny joke because it was said in Deadpool and Wolverine. I thought that was a funny joke. He's going to be doing it to these 90, and it was funny to me. So we'll move, and again, like I just said with Nova, we pivoted away from X-Men, and we went to Nova, and now we're at Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze.
Okay, so if I'm thinking Johnny Blaze, I'm thinking motorcycle. And I got to go to a guy who can rock a motorcycle, could probably throw a chain down. It's it's going to be Charlie Hunnam, my man from Sons of Anarchy. He did a great job in Pacific Rim. He's another A-lister in the sense of actor. Great actor. His English accent and his white Nikes are always white too. So Ghost Rider for him all the way. Charlie Hunnam.
So I didn't know Ghost Rider rocked Air Force Ones, but your bias is showing again here.
Hey, it hurts to be so good.
but I will say this again. Mid-40s. He and a lot of these guys, and what I've learned is when this No Way Home Spider-Man movie was coming out, Tobey Maguire was kind of in negotiations of how much face time am I getting? That's why their mask always comes off, which drives me insane. Because if anybody needs to protect his identity, it's Spider-Man. And he's always taking off his freaking mask, and it drives me insane. And I get it. I get it. I'm not saying it ruins the movies for me, but growing up and you realize Secret Identity is the only one who really needs to protect is Peter Parker. But the rumor is he's already cast.
For Marvel?
Yep.
And
Not Hunnam. They've cast Ghost Rider. That's the rumor that he's going to show up in Doomsday.
And is there? Do you know what the rumor is of who picked it up?
The rumor is, let's all thank God that it's not Nicolas Cage again. Thank God. From what I've read, it's Ryan Gosling as Ghost Rider.
Okay.
So A-lister. That's the difference between, for me, it seems like that's the difference between DC and Marvel. Marvel will get an A-lister. DC looks like to be going for a little bit more of the unknowns. Because I've never, and I watch my fair share of movies. I'm not necessarily one of these huge movie buffs, but look, when they announced Superman, I had no idea who he was. Never heard of him. So I've heard of Mr. Terrific. He's been in I've seen him in a couple of movies. He was in X-Men First Class. He was Darwin. He's the X-Men who couldn't die. He actually dies in the movie. That's Mr. Terrific. I've seen him before. Of course, Guy Gardner, seen him before. We just covered The Last of Us this year. We've seen Kendra Saunders, Hawkgirl before. But Superman, the leading role, never seen him before. Lex Luthor actually played Beast in X-Men First Class as well. So you DC seems a little bit is going a different route than Marvel. Marvel has A-list actors. Of course, they have Robert Downey Jr., but the rumor is it's Ryan Gosling. We'll bookmark this and
put it on the board.
see how many Booba's gotten right, and see if this rumor ends up being true.
No, I know I'm swinging and missing on that one, but I'm okay with saying Charlie Hunnam. Go ahead. What's next?
That's because your bias is showing.
Love me some Charlie Hunnam. Shout out to his ice cream.
Okay. So we're back on the X-Men track.
Okay, let's go.
Kitty Pryde, Shadowcat.
Ooh, this is a tough one, right? So, I was gonna go a different route, right? So I had to, because Kitty Pryde has her dragon, right? So I was thinking Game of Thrones. I was thinking of the actress that played Arya Stark, Williams, I think is her last name. But that would be a good one because, again, she's used to having dragons around her, but it's not going to be my pick. It is going to be Natalie Dyer. She looks exactly like Kitty Pryde. She has the same quirky kind of mannerisms. It makes sense. If you don't know who Natalie Dyer is, look at Stranger Things, one of the biggest shows ever. And yes, she doesn't mind signing on for something for a long term because she's doing that now. So, yes, let's go. Natalie Dyer, sign that contract. MCU, I'll see you in the X-Men mansion. Let's go.
Yeah, she has no problems waiting 50 years to complete a contract because
that is going to be your soapbox forever.
I feel like we've seen these kids come out the womb and they're like in their mid-30s now. God, can't wait for it to be over. And because they've dragged it out so long, it's just like, it could be just me again. I'm on my soapbox again.
That is your soapbox, absolutely.
Yeah. So I like that one. I do like that one. Even Arya Stark. Her name is Maisie Williams.
Maze Williams.
Yep.
Something like that.
I don't know if we have the correct pronunciation, but she did play Arya Stark in Game of Thrones, and she was a badass in Game of Thrones.
She was in New Mutants as well. So
That's right.
So she's already played a mutant. So again, that's why I was going to go that route. But I want to get the look. I want to get the mannerisms, and I think Dyer has it down.
So I am in agreement with you on both of those. Those both look pretty good.
Finally, it has happened to me. Yeah. Let's go.
Well, and we're still staying with the mutants. Maybe.
Okay, who's next?
Maybe one of the biggest mutants of all.
Oh,
Magneto.
Wow, this is an easy one. Like, this is the biggest one, I think, on social media, hands down. Thank you, Alien Earth, for giving us Timothy Oliphant in white hair, kind of crazy, but come on. He was already in Hitman. He had his own series, Justified. You have to put Timothy Oliphant as Magneto. Like, it doesn't get any more identical. It doesn't get any better. Great actor, will deliver. Timothy Oliphant, 100%.
I'm surprised you didn't mention one of his projects being The Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah.
Right? He was in The Mandalorian. I
gotta stay away from the Star Wars. I don't want to be I don't want to show my bias too much.
You don't care that you're showing your bias. Now you care because I pointed something out?
Well, because Lucas left. It's because Lucas left.
What was that?
Lucas left.
He's right there. This is, and look, we saw him in Alien Earth with white hair. He's gray. I don't think he needs the dye job. Just like that, he's good. But you know who I did like? I did like Michael Fassbender in the role. I thought he did phenomenal.
That's a good one.
But he was playing a younger Magneto. So if we're gonna be, so I get, the thing with Oliphant is the gray kind of like, kind of puts the stamp of approval of like, this guy could definitely.
His face is very close to the Magneto, man. It's in the face. Like, I look at him now and I don't see Kirsch anymore. I see Magneto.
And he's got the chops. He's got the chops to do it. Like you read off his resume. I got no problem with it. But I'm not saying that I prefer Fassbender because again he was a younger Magneto. But if they were recasting, got no problem with that one. That one's that's a home run right there. Baseball reference. So again, the majority of these are going to be X-Men because we've discussed this already. That we feel that's the direction Marvel's going to go into. This is a X-Men is a hot commodity for them now that they have the rights back. We see the Netflix series. Looks like they're steering towards keeping those actors. They did it already with, of course, Daredevil, Bullseye, Punisher, Kingpin. We're probably going to see Jessica Jones in season 2 of Born Again. We're most likely going to see Luke Cage and Iron Fist. So that's not something we're going to touch on. But the X-Men seems like the big property that they have that they can really put their stamp on, like they just did with Fantastic Four. So we're on another mutant, another Omega level threat, like Magneto. Storm.
Oof. Man, I was hoping we had saw her Marvel Zombies, but it wasn't that.
I thought that was her.
If you didn't see that episode, very good episode, very fun episode, that breakdown in the channel. But man, I got to go to someone who's already played a superhero, someone who delivers in the role. I saw an image of her as Storm. She is as wonderful and good looking as Storm should be, and it's Anna Diop. If you don't know who that is, she was in Titans. She played Starfire, and she was in the movie Us. A great delivery. She is amazing, and the look of her as Storm is absolutely phenomenal. I think she did a great job as Starfire. I can see her doing the exact same thing for Storm. Let's go. Sign the contract. MCU. Okay, Anna Diop. Let's go. Storm.
That one's okay. I like that. I don't remember her in Us to be. I thought I only seen it one time, but I don't remember.
She didn't have a major role.
Okay.
But she's in Us.
I don't remember. I do remember her in Titans. I did remember her in Us. That was when. That's crazy. But I gotta go back now and see. I don't remember her.
Yes. Who's next? Line them up.
Let's keep the mutant theme going on. Mutant and Proud. Cyclops. Scott Summers.
Ooh, okay. So remember I mentioned the brothers thing, right? So we talked about I said his brother, but it's not one of his brothers. So I was thinking about Havoc. My apologies, folks. But this one, I love them as well as Titans. Let's go back to back on Titans. Brenton Thwaites, I think his name is. Of course, he was in The Giver. He was Nightwing in Titans. Has the look. I think he has the chops. For the most part, man, he would be awesome as Cyclops. I like other notables, but for me, when it comes down to Cyclops, you put the goggles on him. He has the hair coming out from the top. Absolutely good-looking man there. Let's go, Brenton Thwaites, and that is my Cyclops.
I'm interesting. I'm actually interested to see, based off how we saw Cyclops in X-Men '97. I'm interested to see James Marsden come back.
Ooh, okay.
The original Cyclops. I'm interested to see him come back in Doomsday. I know we're doing a completely different, a brand new casting, but just to touch on that subject, I would like to. I'm curious to see if they're going to give him his just due the same way they did in '97, because it looked like he was punk in these X-Men movies that we initially saw him.
Yeah, bit of a pushover.
So I would love to see them get his proper shine in Doomsday, because I think we all pretty much think that they're going to get all killed off and they're going to get brand new, actors to play these roles. So I'm curious to see what I'm curious to see him in Doomsday, and of course, I'm curious to see all these roles get cast at some point, because again, we're on the X-Men train, and we're going to stay there. And this one seems to be one that I think a lot of actresses are fighting for. They kind of mentioned, what's her name, man?
Well, before you
hold on, no. But the character's name is Rogue from X-Men.
Yes.
So, Keke Palmer was the last one I kind of not hoped, but I heard that she was intrigued by it, and she would absolutely do it, she said. But that's the character we have here now, Pua. Rogue.
Yeah, no. Listen, this one's pretty tough for me. I'm not gonna lie. I had to. If we're going down this roll call, I probably spent more time thinking about who could play Rogue. Rogue is one of the most powerful X-Men, of course. She can take on so many other powers by touch. So the actress that has to play this has to play a role where she can differentiate herself from the rest. And then you got to think about that Southern twang and that one part where she goes sugar. I got to think about that. So the one that I would probably want to see as Rogue right now is Ella Purnell. She has been amazing in Fallout. She was in Miss Peregrine's Home of Peculiar Children. She is the voice actress in Arcane, the main actress in Arcane. So she's not out of the loop in the sense of voice and acting. And if you see her, she has fighting skills in the show Fallout, which I think comes out in December again for season 2. But the way she looks, give her the white hair streaks, give her the Southern accent, give her leather jacket, because she rocks that leather jacket like there's no tomorrow. It has to be Miss Purnell. Please sign that contract, MCU. Make me right.
And let's not forget, and again, we're going to continue to go back to X-Men 97. Let's not forget the actress who played Rogue and who was receiving accolades after that drop. Her name is Leonore Zahn, I believe is the correct pronunciation of her name. She's amazing as Rogue. If you haven't seen X-Men 97, good story, good acting from all the voice actors involved. But she stood out for me. She really did. She was just listen to a lot of the delivery of her lines. She was amazing in it. And Can't wait for season 2. I think that's coming out in 2026. This was a predominantly X-Men cast episode for us. If we do think of any other characters who may kind of fall into what they're trying to do with Doomsday coming out and then Secret Wars coming out, we see anything else we want to talk about, we'll definitely put out an episode, and we will be going over DC as well in another episode here. But Pooba, good job, except for the ones that you kind of showed your bias on.
Come on, I want to see.
Job, man. Yeah, that's a great job.
Again, thank you all for allowing me to fandom on this fan cast. It was a lot of fun.
So, Pooba, thanks for putting the effort in. Thanks for the time, everybody. Thank you for all the support that you've given us. If you have not, yet, this is your first time here. You like what we're doing. You look at all of our past episodes. Do us a favor, share, subscribe, hit that bell. For Pooba, for myself, we will return.
The worst episode ever.